Welcome to the Courage to Live podcast. My name is Josh Bitsko. I'm a retired police captain out of Las Vegas with 24 years of experience. Currently, I travel the country and I teach law enforcement, first responders, and leaders courage, resilience, and leadership. Today, we're going to talk about how to be the calm in the room. And when you think about any critical incident, now in law enforcement, a critical incident can be anything from a officer involved shooting, an active shooter incident that you respond to, anything where force can be used, or there's going to be a lot of pressure put mentally and physically on the responding officers. In life, this is mirrored. A critical incident can be, a car accident involving your family member, or even a sick kid in the middle of the night, and you have to make the decision: are you going to take them to the emergency room? Are you just going to give them Tylenol? Think about anything that causes an acute stress in your life in that moment. So, when dealing with a critical incident, what we're going to talk about is how to be the calm in the room. And that has a lot of effects, especially as a leader. So, when it feels like there's chaos all around you and everybody is looking to you to make a decision, how you comport yourself, how you carry yourself, how you even talk or stand or move your arms matters. When I was a new leader, I wasn't very good at carrying myself in a way that gave confidence to those around me. And I realized as I continued through my career that that is also a learned skill. So I was a newly promoted sergeant, and before I promoted, I had a sergeant that was in K9 that was just really good at carrying himself in a way that he was just always calm. No matter what was happening, bullets could be flying, seemingly the world was falling around or falling apart around us, and he just seemed calm, and that made me calm. There was a time I was running into a scene where a shooting just happened, and he looked at me and he's like, "What are you doing?" It's like, "We need to do this, this, and this." So running in without a plan is not what needs to get done in that moment. And so I met with him and I was talking to him about it, and while as a new sergeant, and he was telling me, he's like, "Well, honestly, you just kind of have to fake it until you make it." And I thought about that a lot. Is if I can just act like somebody that's calm, even if internally my heart is up, internally I know that, I'm stressed because all of this pressure is on me to make all the right decisions as a leader. But if I fake that I'm not, then that's going to have a positive impact on everybody around me. And but again, how do you do that? So for me, in those moments, I would emulate this previous sergeant that I had on how he would act in those moments. And I did that for a while until eventually I was just calm under pressure. It's described to me, it's like being a duck. You look at a duck on water and they're moving nice and calm and smooth, but underwater where you can't see, their feet are flipping really fast. And that was me for a while until it really just wasn't. So, working on yourself to build that skill under pressure, whatever your industry is, will carry over to the people that work for you, work around you, because you can't always control what's happening around you. When I teach about emotional regulation to first responders, I always say you never have control about something that happens or how you feel about whatever happened to you, but you always have control in how you respond to it. In that space in between those things, that's when you can regulate your emotions. And that carries over to trying to be the calm in the room. You can bring everybody down if you're calm and you're not out of control with your emotions and your actions, and you're able to bring people together to get the job done in spite of the obstacles that are happening. A really important fact is know that leaders are remembered for how they make people feel, especially in high stress moments. So it's not always about making the correct decisions or the best decisions. Now, you want to do those things, and being able to regulate your emotions is going to help you do those things. But you're remembered as a leader for how you made them feel. Just like the sergeant that I talked about earlier in this podcast, I remember how he was able to calm me down as a newer officer And he had such an impact on me that later in my career, I then tried to emulate him. And hopefully, I had that same effect on people around me in stressful situations. And I remember on the 1 October shooting that I responded to here in Las Vegas, when I had my team with me, I was doing everything that I could to calm them down. And I was internally a mess. When we were making our way to the room, I could feel my own heart rate was high, and I didn't know what we were walking into. I was trying to regulate my emotions as best I could, but I could also feel the energy from the team. So I was very careful about the words that I said and how I said them in those moments. I wanted to look calm, even if I wasn't inside, because I knew that my team needed to be at their best when we got to the suspect's room to deal with what we were going to have to deal with when we got there. And there was even one point that, I told him, hey, you guys are doing phenomenal. Beers are on me later. I did that intentionally. And we did go out for beers later, but I did that intentionally because I wanted them to feel, well, hey, if the sergeant on this is calm and collected and is able to, make good decisions, and they're going to have more confidence in me. But also, it's going to bring down their own emotional state, just like I talked about earlier in the podcast. So take those times when you're feeling that stress, especially if you're in a leadership position, and you don't have to have a title or rank to be in a leadership position. Take those times and try to be as calm as possible, even if it's a small incident, let's say, because you're also building the practice of keeping calm under stress and being that calm in the room for when it's the big one. Because over the course, that's what experience is over the course of your life. You are a collection of your experiences and how you responded to them. You can teach yourself through small incidents that might upset you to regulate your emotions. So when you really need it, it's a skill that you've developed. So thank you for listening today. We did talk about a lot in a short period of time, but ask yourself, are you the calm in the room? And if the answer is that no, how can you become that? Appreciate you taking the time to spend with me today. If you enjoyed the podcast or anything that we talked about, please subscribe or share the podcast with a friend. Thank you.